Leesburg. So we're in December now. That means we have a new theme and one more month left in the year 2024. So our theme for this year is a grand rising. And our theme for December is sticking the landing. And I cannot wait to see what's going to happen this month with that theme. Today's talk will be given by our wonderful Reverend Charlene, and the title of her talk is Standing on Solid Air. Standing on Solid Air. Can't wait for that one, too. We are so glad that you took some time out of your busy, busy day to join us. If you have any prayer, concerns, or celebrations, please feel free to add them to the chat, and Charlene will make sure that she includes them after our message and later in our service when we do our affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment. So that's all I have to say to welcome you. Let's sit back, relax, and enjoy our welcoming video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be a service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly. And so it is. And so it is. And now it's time for our meditation. So December 1st, this is usually a very, very busy month. Lots of things going on, lots of things on your to-do list. So to kick things off, I thought I would do the ideal day meditation. And I'm going to invite you, instead of ideal day, if you want to make it ideal week or ideal month, that's up to you. I'll keep sticking with ideal day, but you're allowed to substitute those words. It's your meditation. You can do what you want. All right, just sit back, relax, close your eyes if you need to, clear your mind. Take that to-do list that I mentioned, just push it over to the side for now. It'll wait for you. You'll be there when you have time to go back. But right now, this meditation is something that you do for yourself, a gift that you give yourself. So just relax, sink a little deeper into your chair, take a deep breath, hold it, and release. You know I'm going to do that again. Take a deep breath. Hold and release. So the ideal day, I think this is going to tie in with Charlene's message today as I was looking at my journal and getting some clues. So I want you to picture just the ideal morning. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Maybe you want to open your eyes and peek at the fun images that appear on the screen. Such a beautiful, beautiful mountain scene with a beautiful blue sky and a gorgeous lake. Maybe you're in your home, making yourself a cup of coffee. Oh, I can actually smell the coffee. Maybe you're starting your day off with meditation or exercise, or just sitting, journaling, feeling just peace flood your soul. So what's the weather like today on this ideal day? Is it a beautiful fall day? Are there colorful leaves still up on the tree? Is snow falling and the whole world is hushed? Are you in a tropical rainforest starting off your ideal day? Are you in a fantasy world where there are butterflies and fairies just flying around? You get to choose. You get to create. And then, as you ease into the day, the sun is going higher in the sky. What activities would you do on your ideal day? Would you go for a walk in nature? Would you keep reading? Would you laugh and talk with loved ones? Would you play with a pet? Would you adopt a pet? What would you do on your ideal day? You get to decide. You get to choose. What would you do on your ideal day? What would you eat on your ideal day? Who would prepare it on your ideal day? What would you touch? What would you smell? What would you hear as you go through the day? And as we look at that sunset, if your eyes are open, all good things must come to an end, right? But you still have some time left. So how would your ideal day end? The sun is setting, it's getting dark. Sky is filled with twinkling stars. Are you inside? Surrounded by loved ones? Is there a fire in the fireplace? Are you outside? Is there a fire pit? Are the waves crashing underneath the moonlit sky? How is your ideal day coming to an end? So this is what you can do anytime, any day, especially in a month that sometimes people experience stress. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and just imagine, what would my ideal day look like? How would I feel on my ideal day? And this is a wonderful meditation that you can do early in the morning. Set your intention. What is my ideal day? What do I want to choose today? What do I want to make happen today? Because we know it's all a matter of directing our mind, our focus. What we focus on expands. So any day can be your ideal day. And with that, wiggle your toes, open your eyes if they are closed. Join us as we join Leah for some music.
Let your soul's light shine so brightly. Let your soul's light shine so brightly. Let your soul's light shine so brightly that we all can find our way home. Let your soul's light shine so brightly. Let your soul's light shine so brightly. Let your soul's light shine so brightly that we all can find our way home. Find our way home. We can find our way home. We can find our way home, my friends. We got to light up the night. Find our way home. We can find our way home. We can find our way home. It's all gonna be alright. 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 Let your soul's light shine so shine. Let your soul's light shine so shine. Let your soul's light shine so bright that we all can find our way home. Find our way home. We can find our way home. We can find our way home. My friends, we got to light up the night. Find our way home. We can find our way home. We can find our way home. It's all gonna be alright. 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 Let your soul's light shine so shine again. Let your soul's light shine so shine again. Let your soul's light shine so bright that we all can find our way home.
Let your soul's light shine so brightly. Let your soul's light shine so brightly. Let your soul's light shine so brightly that we all can find our way home.
Shine up your bright
Let your
light,
soul's
won't
light
you?
shine
Won't you shine up your bright
Let your
light,
soul's
won't
light
you?
shine
Won't you
so
shine up your
brightly.
bright
Let your
bright
soul's light
light,
shine
so
so
that
brightly
we all can find our way home?
No way. Oh my God. What? Sorry, that ending piece with all the little people that I loved, do you see Layla in the back? And then you saw, anyway, and the boy is getting so grown with the deep voice. Wow. So shout out to Lucia, Jacob, Layla, and Leah for helping us shine our bright soul light. And Tamara, always, that meditation is just like, phew, just lets me slide right into the topic. Because this month, as she mentioned, is sticking the landing. And today's topic is standing on solid air. And then you think, hold on, none of those things make any, maybe sticking the landing. If life is like a gymnast routine where, just think back for the last few months, how our emotions may have been topsy-turvy, flipping all over the place. The energy around us so volatile, and there's things that we had to do that seemed like feats of high wire act. And I just imagine Simone Biles, the way she jumps onto the springboard and then touches lightly on the horse and then flips and turns and bloop, 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 and then boop, sticks the landing, stands straight up on her feet, and then just poses like, yes, I did that. This is us. This is us this year. We have gone through so much topsy-turvy, twisty routines. It seemed like a routine, right? But we want to make sure that we're ending this year with a boom, stand up on our feet, confident and proud, and yes, pose, because we want to earn a 10. We definitely nailed it. And so that's what the topic is about for the whole month. We're going to take you through it. We've got 5 weeks in December, 5 topics. This first topic is air. Now, air is an element, as we all know. You've got earth, you've got wind, you've got fire, just like the band. And then, and then you also have light and water. But air is definitely the first one we talk about this first week. Air is going to be partnered up with a spiritual aspect, a consciousness aspect that has to do with our inner experience. And thought is going to go with air. So right now, for today, I'll be discussing the idea of air not being as, or things not being as solid as they may seem. Because as Tamara mentioned in the meditation, it depends on what you choose to focus on, what you choose to expect from your day. Nobody can force you to think a thought. They can entice you. You could use your social media scrolling, whether it's doom scrolling or whatever, you could use that to seed your thoughts, but we always have a choice. Are we going to be engaged in that idea, or do we know something higher? Do we know some truth that's higher than what it looks like? And so this is my job today and for the next month to kind of remind us, what are we all about? Why are we here? We got to ask ourselves these questions, because trust me, if we allow the world to define us, we'll just sit in a corner in a fetal position and just hope for it all to be over soon. Trust me, it's what happens if you believe what you're told about yourself. I remember when I first started Science of Mind, when I first started in religious science, I was in my early 20s, and I remember I had left this very traditional fundamentalist church because they kept trying to define me. They kept saying that I couldn't do some things because I'm a woman. I couldn't wear some things because I'm supposed to be pure. And I couldn't behave or even want certain things because I'm black. Excuse you? And they did. Some of the stuff was implied, right? But it was definitely palpable. And I remember choosing differently because I didn't grow up in that teaching. It would have been harder if I grew up in it, but I didn't. I found it in my late teens, and I fell hook, line, and sinker for their teaching until I started looking a little more closely and applying logical thought. And I was like, well, this doesn't make any sense. Why? And nobody could answer why. And then I became that person who was a troublemaker. Okay, call me a troublemaker. I'm gonna still need you to answer the question. Why? Because I'm a woman? That don't make no sense. Explain that. Oh, because I'm black? That has nothing to do with anything. They couldn't explain it. And so I was like, okay, so this is not. And I was so grateful. I was grateful at the time for knowing I was not turning my back on God. I was turning my back on this implementation of God. Somehow I knew that even though that preacher, I'm using air quotes, if you're just listening and you're not looking, I'm using air quotes when I use the word God, when I use the word preacher, this teaching, it didn't align with what I knew in my soul to be true. And I decided I don't have to change my soul so it matches them. I just have to elevate who I'm around, be around some people that get it. And so I found some people that got it. I walked into religious science over in Oakland, Montclair, Reverend Margaret Stortz, I believe she was teaching, or she was talking. And everything she said, I was like, thank you. Thank you. What was she saying? She said that everything was created twice. Everything in your life is created twice. Once in your thought, and then for real. Everything that's created anywhere is created twice. Once in our minds, and then in our reality. And I was like, yeah, that tracks. And then she was, and she's quoting Ernest Holmes, who's the founder of the teaching. And then she goes ahead and quotes him some more. And it kind of goes along the lines of the actual topic that's been given to me in my notes. There's no matter. There's no matter. We might disagree scientifically that there's no matter, but spirit, even quantum physicists will tell you that the thing that looks solid is more air than it is matter. So things are not nearly as solid as we perceive them to be, is the actual words. And one of the physicists, I think Niels Bohr, said once he understood quantum physics, knew that there was more space than there was matter, he said, I was afraid to sit on a chair. I thought I might fall, because it's just, things aren't as they seem. So what we call thought and what we call form are really just energy being shaped. Energy is being shaped by our conscious awareness, and it becomes form because we believe that they are true. And so we begin, these core beliefs of science of mind dragged me in. It drew me in. I could not resist, because everything I sort of had some feeling about what was really going on, and it never was reflected back to me from the traditional teachings. It was never reflected back. I was always told, oh, don't think too hard, just have faith. Wait, don't think too hard? I mean, why would God give me a brain and tell me not to use the brain? That don't make no sense. I kept saying it doesn't make any sense. And I'm going to tell you something. What got me out of that place, what made me convinced that I was right, I read a book. And the book that was approved was, again, air quotes, it was approved because they had to approve all your reading. It was called Clan of the Cave Bear. Clan of the Cave Bear. Now, this story was about it was about the prehistoric, you know how the Cro-Magnon, and there was another type of primate that was walking upright. They kind of mixed. Anyway, they had a ritual. If you didn't do as they said, they would shun you. They would just not see you. This society would just pretend not to see you. And if they don't see you, then you don't exist. And you could be there dancing in a tutu, and they would just be like, doo-doo-doo, I don't see her. And that's a form of death. So if you were in this clan and you misbehaved, the way they killed you was not by killing you. No, that's too straightforward. They would just ignore you. And then you would wander away, and then you would die because you need people. This opened my eyes, and I was like, we are such a community-based, we are one. We are looking to be part of something bigger than ourselves. We are drawn to community that is like-minded. And when we don't find it, we will lose, we lose part of ourselves to the point where we feel so separate. And feeling separate is equivalent to hell. It is equivalent. And as that awakened me, I realized that this could be used to control others. This very idea of, well, if you don't do what we say and act the way we think you should act, then you can't be one of us. And then people will start to compromise their base beliefs in order to belong. And I realized that that was what was happening. And that I needed to really just get within myself and understand what did I really believe, and then look for a group that also believed that. And therefore, I would not be compromising myself. I would feel like I was one with the group, and then it would naturally be a life-giving sort of experience. And so one thing about the science of mind is this. We never say, release everything you believe and take what we tell you for truth. Never have we ever said that. In fact, the ministers have gone so far as to say, oh, don't believe it from me, try it. Do it for yourself. Prove that thoughts held closely in your heart, your affirmations, everything you want, focus on what you do want, your ideal day, like the meditation. Show up and be open to it and see if it works. Practice it. It's a science because it's provable principles. You should be able to apply these principles in your life and get your desired results. And they broke it down. So again, the first one of the beliefs, which I want to talk about, there's like 3 sections here. The first of the beliefs of science of mind or religious science, they started to remove the word science because it gets weird when people confuse you with Christian Science. And you're like, no, that's not us. So they started just calling it Centers for Spiritual Living, because that's what it is. But don't get it twisted, as the kids say. This is based on rigorous, proven principles. that they call laws. So here we go. The first one, we believe in God. Okay, you don't have to call it God. Call it whatever you want. The living Spirit Almighty, the one indestructible, absolute, self-existent cause. Again, call it Allah, call it Buddha, call it Spirit, call it Divine Mother, call it feminine energy, call it universal oneness. I don't care what you call it. But the fact that what our beliefs that we hold are going to align us with this infinite experience, or if you want to believe something else, you'll feel separate from this infinite experience. We get to choose. So we believe in this almighty, this oneness, this universal presence, and we realize that this oneness shows up in form in multiplicity. It's never of a single thing. The divine would never just make one kind of itself. Look at the plethora, all the different species, and there's a whole hierarchy of botanical terms that we use to separate all the different types of plant life, and that's just plants. Imagine, look at the number of stars that you could see in the sky. Look at the number of grains of sand. There is such multiplicity. No two snowflakes exactly alike. Such multiplicity in the unity, in the oneness. But it's just expressions of the one. So it's always one. Anyway, we deepen our awareness of this with this first principle, and we realize that God never, the divine never created us and then dipped out. It doesn't just create its creation and then go somewhere else. It is as its creation. It's living as its creation. And the cool part is that it's not limited by just what it has created so far. It is always creating. There's infinite possibilities waiting to be created. We don't see everything that God is because it's still creating. But this should be a mind-blowing, open experience where if we're trying to take parts of ourselves away so we could fit into this tiny little narrow little slot that someone else designed, when we hear that it may be what we've always thought, that I'm this way for a reason. Why should I take apart? Why should I take away all the things that make me special just to fit into something based on what other people think? What about what I think? Maybe I'm actually a channel for the divine. Maybe my thoughts are just as good as Picasso's paintings. Maybe my words are just as great as Thoreau. Why does there have to be just one set of white men that get to say what's good? What if this black woman has something to share? Why should I take it away from myself? Good question. So we think, and then we realize that there's the thought that we're given, the ideas that we're given, the energy, the inspiration, the things that make us light up, don't make everybody light up. And that's okay. In fact, that's great. Maybe the divine is trying to be something special through you. Well, who am I to stop the flow, right? So the idea is that this godness, this energy, this divine power said, let me experience myself in all these different ways. Which brings me to the second thing, that God is incarnating itself in all the different things and in all people. I know. All people? Yep. Everybody? Even, yeah. All right. It is what it is. Now, that doesn't mean that every person and, sort of needs for you to come up, hug them, kiss them, bring them home and feed them food and have them in your life. I'm not saying that. You could be God's divine creature right over there. Stay right on over there. God's divine creature. Bless your heart. So we don't want to, don't get it conflated to, you have to accept everything that everyone does to you or at you, because that's God too. I mean, no. Draw your boundaries as you are inclined to do, but just know that this soul, this oversoul, the soul that we all are sort of energized by, we're one. We are one with each other, even the parts of us that don't want to own that thing that someone else did. Something about what they did, there's a little bit of that propensity in you. You just choose not to act on it. And so we are human, we are unified, we are one. And so when we don't experience the oneness, when we start experiencing that separation, usually it's our thoughts that cause that to happen, and we're using the creative power that we have, from our thoughts to our sort of beingness to actually showing up in the world. Sometimes we use that for evil, or for not evil. We use it for not our highest good. Don't believe me? All right. What if, just thought experiment, what if you had a moment of separation, of fear? And in that moment of fear, you had an idea to, I don't know, go really fast and smash into that, I don't know, concrete thing, just because you're mad and you're afraid. Now, you don't have to act on that. You see, the thought might come through us, but it's not who we are. And so we can choose, we can entertain a thought or notice the thought. Let it flow by if it's not a thought that is highest good. Or we can latch on to the first negative thought we feel, act on it, and have a terrible outcome. It's our choice. So we could use this law for good, and we could use the law for not so great. But you know, when we are using the law in accordance with the highest and best principles, more good overflows from that than if we use our power for not so highest good. So yes, humans, we have the right to choose. We have we have the right to either act on certain thoughts that come to us or not act on those. But just know that since God is within us, we live within the divine. We live in the divine just as the divine lives in us. And when we align ourselves with the highest, like love, anything that's life-giving, anything that's highest in terms of wisdom, power, peace, beauty, if we choose the highest thoughts, then we'll be we'll be swimming with the stream, swimming with the flow, kind of everything you do is more powerful. Everything you do has more momentum because we're going along with the divine flow. Yes, you can choose to turn around and swim upstream, but it's going to be harder. Everything's going to feel like a slog. And I remember when I first started taking classes in this teaching, because I was so enthralled by, oh my gosh, there's a whole organization of people that believe that we choose our thoughts. We can overcome things because we're aligned with a higher power. It felt like my 12-step program, but it was it was spiritual. It was not just because we were overcoming some not so great habit. It's just spiritually wanting to be better, meeting with some people who also want to be better, and knowing that the highest choice I choose will have behind it a momentum and will feel easy. It will feel like it's meant to be, and doors just sort of fling open when I'm living in alignment, and it caused me to notice the times when I'm not. I would look at my life. I remember early 30s by now, but in this story of my life here, I started religious science, I don't know, 23, 24. By the time I was 30 years old, I was taking some classes and I was noticing some things I would be trying really, really hard and not getting anywhere. Whether it was with my programming career or with some boyfriend I was dating or anything that I set my sights on, sometimes it just felt like a slog, and I remember talking myself through it like, well, Shar, if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. Just stay the course and work harder. And then I realized, taking some classes, and I was like, what if it doesn't have to be this hard? What other things could I be doing? And I started entertaining, maybe thinking about what I do want and writing down, this was the key part, what I do want. because my thoughts are very creative. And when they're in alignment with the highest good, they'll happen quicker for me. When what I want for myself is great for everybody, then it tends to have a power behind it that other effort didn't really have. And so I started noticing that and started putting my little feelers out. Try this, and then whoosh. And even by the time I was maybe 33, 34, by now I was in Virginia, and I was taking a class of, by now I'm in practitioner training, because once you start taking classes, that's your cohort now. And I remember mentioning, gosh, I really want to buy a house. And within like 3 weeks, I owned a house. It was insane. And everybody in class was like, Shar, I was like, I guess it works. And every time, the joke was, every time it actually worked, we were all surprised. And then our teacher was like, why are you guys consistently surprised? You know how it works. And we were like, yeah, but it's still insane that it actually works. Just putting your ideas, guiding your thoughts along the highest and best for all involved, along with affirmations, the stuff you learn in class, affirmations, spiritual mind treatments. We've got to get our thoughts together, because that energy, and I'm going to like imagine around my head there's just an orbit. Think about an atom with orbiting pieces. Listen, around our heads is our thought atmosphere. Whatever we're holding in our minds becomes what we expect to see in the world. And if we're holding regret, shame, blame, doubt, and fear, guess what we're going to see? Lots of things to regret. We're going to do things that we're shameful of. We're going to see things that we're afraid of. And we're going to doubt ourselves. And we're going to be walking around like driving with our foot on the brake. We've got our accelerator pressed and the brake pressed. And when we stop doing that and start leaning into what I really want, what do I really want, then the life just starts, boop, boop, doors just open. And I remember I bought that house so fast from a friend of mine who I said, nice house. She said, you want it? It's about to go on the market. I'm like, oh my gosh. We used the same realtor, closed the thing. I got the loan. It was fine. And then I was like, oh snap. I forgot to get a person to move me from the condo to the townhouse. I don't have a mover. And one of my friends is like, how are you going to move? You don't have a mover. So I called this company in the Yellow Pages at the time, and they were like, oh, it's just a condo? Yeah, we're booked, but we could do you in an afternoon. They came and moved me. Again, my practitioner friends are like, wow. And I just really, really, really started looking at what I do want. And I used my thoughts to create for me my ideal, not just my ideal day, like Tamara did, but I just said, what do I really want? I want to live in a house. Yeah, but the real estate market is crazy right now. The universe said, and oh yeah, but you didn't do the mover. And the universe said, so? Because I was in alignment. So the last piece is just about believing in everything that's highest, from healing the sick to shifting conditions in any relationship. I want us this week to concentrate on what thoughts we're holding and ask ourselves, is this what I want to experience? And if the answer is no, elevate that thought. Keep doing it and practice it. And then watch how the doors just open. It's not a mystery. These are known laws, and we can use them because we're part of this divine energy. So we're sticking the landing this month, and we're doing it every single time. Today was all about air and thought. The air and the thought. Really, it's everything is not as solid as you think it is. Yeah, sure, the air is solid. Let's go with that. Standing on solid air. And let's go within. And let's check to see if there's any requests for prayer. I will know the highest and best for all of us. So I'm going to take us through our spiritual mind treatment, which is our affirmative prayer, and see if you can catch the different steps that happen in there. So the first thing I do know is that there is only one energy, one divine power, one mind, one life emanating through and as each and every one of us. We cannot be separate from the divine. We are living in and it is living in us, the divine energy. Much like a fish has the ocean in it and it is swimming in the ocean, we are in the divine, of the divine, and it is in us. Knowing that we're one and there's no separation, I move to the area where, because I realize that we're one, and I know that the divine is all good, I know that I also am all good, all knowing. I too have access to infinite intelligence because it's in me. Everything that the divine is available to me right here, right now. I don't have to wait. It is here right now. Using this knowledge, I simply open my awareness to the highest idea of my life. What is the highest and the best that I can be, that I can have, that I can serve, that I can contribute to? And that is what I align myself with. Now, since I'm aligned with this energy and I already know that everything that I say and think and do is imbued with that power behind me, now I get to speak for what I want. What I know that I want in this life is for this spiritual community, CSL Leesburg, to be the most cohesive, supportive, loving, and uplifting community, where we each hold each other in our highest esteem, knowing the best is happening and unfolding for each and every one of us. I also know for sure that I'm speaking into existence right here and right now, that each and every one of us is changing the lives of everyone we come into contact with. They feel higher love. They reverberate with a higher energy. Somehow we are improving the lives of others because we are here to give. Not for our selfish ego reasons. We don't use this energy. We use it to lift other people up and allow them to see their divinity as well. And this does bleed over into the world affairs, into everything from wars and weather storms and all senses of dis-ease and unwell. I know that we overflow in our love and our joy as we give service to humankind. And now I move into gratitude because I know that what I've said is already being acted upon by the divine, because it always says yes. Yes, yes, yes. And because this is in alignment with the highest good, that doors fly open on the wings of angels, these prayers go, and they are received and acted upon immediately. And so now I simply release it. There's nothing else for me to do here. The seed has been planted, the soil has been tilled, and now the fruits shall blossom, because that is the law. So I release it into the law. I let it go. I let it be. And I simply say, and so it is. Amen and Ashe. So we have Leah.
Free and easy, free and easy. Life is alright when I remain free and easy. Take one step, take a breath, listen out for your guides. Know everything is always alright. Uncurl your fingers and roll with the ride. Free and easy. Roll with your flow. Know what you know. Only let go. Trust your soul. Free and easy. Follow your highest excitement. With no attachment to the outcome, just remain free and easy. Take free step and easy. Follow your heart. Free and easy. Always alright. Life is alright. When trust is alright. Free and easy. Take free step and easy. Listen out for your guides. Free and easy. Always alright. When life is alright. easy.
Wow. Oh my goodness gracious. Charlene, that was absolutely incredible. Absolutely wonderful. And I loved Leah's music with that as well, especially that last song. It really just put the button on it. It stuck the landing, you could say. All right. Thank you, folks. Thank you for indulging me. All right, folks, now is the time that we talk about our donations. So we're coming to the end of the year. We're busy with our CSL Leadership Council, making our budget for next year. And odds are you have found, as a regular viewer, a regular member, a regular attendee at CSL Leesburg, a way to make your donations to us. There's so many different ways that you can give, that you can contribute. And remember, what you give not only helps CSL Leesburg to do what we do every week, but it also ripples out, like Charlene says. It goes to our home organization, and it also goes to organizations that support our mission of helping to create a world that works for everyone. So we are so thankful. We are so grateful for your donations, because you do what you do, we can do what we do, and it just keeps going and going and going. All right, please join me with our blessing of the gifts, also known as our affirmation of oneness. Here we go, and really think about these words as you say them and the message that Charlene brought to us today. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness in the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. All right. With that being said, conscious giving. Did you do it? Did you sign up by yesterday? That was our deadline. If not, I'm sure Charlene will let like one day slide. Right, Char? So sign up. It's so easy. You can just point your phone at that little QR code. You fill out the questionnaire that asks you how much will you give, how often will you give, bing, bang, boom, and it's done before you know it. And Charlene will mail out your spiritual journal. And you heard me say, guys, my journal's filling up. This was this year, and it's all filled with notes. While I listen to the message, anything that's like resonating with me, I like put it down, I jot it down. And what a wonderful souvenir I have for the year. And I love to look back and remind myself of the different thoughts that I had from the message, from the music, from the meditation, and even just it's a way of tracking my spiritual growth. So if you haven't done it, do it today. Do it today, okay? All right, next, let's talk about dream study. So dream study is when Charlene and friends meet, they discuss their dreams, they interpret dreams, they help you interpret your dreams. It's on alternating Saturdays. So the next meeting will be December 14th, 2024, in 2 weeks. If you can, if you're interested, if you just want to hang out with Charlene and her friends, join them on December 14th, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, as they explore dreams. Also, we have our annual meeting next Sunday, December 8th, after service. And I'm going to put in a little drum roll. We're going to have our new members welcomed officially. So mark your calendars. Please plan on staying just a little bit after service as we do our annual meeting. We'll talk about our budget. If you're a member CSL Leesburg, you'll get to vote. You'll get to approve that. You'll get to hear all of our plans that we have for the upcoming year, 2025. Cannot believe it. And that's going to be next Sunday, December 8th, after service. All right, I think that's everything except I want to say something about pearls. So if you're like I am and you took some notes during our message, or there's something that you want to talk about some more, you have some questions, maybe you want to share an experience where you were able to stick the landing, you were able to remember that it's all in our control, hang out with us for a little bit after service. We call this pearls. These are the jewels, something that really resonated with you, or you have some questions about, or you just want to hang out with us a little bit. It's always a great time. If you can't, we understand these are busy days, but if you can, please stay, hang around with us. We always catch up. It's always a fun time to talk. So before we go into that, we have to send you off with our closing affirmation. So here we go. Give yourself a big hug. Turn on your mic so I can hear you. And join me in saying, I am love.
I am.
love.
Yeah, I love that so much. All right, folks, now think of someone or look at someone. It doesn't matter if they're in the room with you. We know that we're all connected. So send this message out either across the room or across the state or across the country or across the world. You are loved.
You are love.
You are loved. Woo! Love that. I really did feel that. And now let's end with our love sprinkles. You ready? Join me. Here we go. You ready? It's all
love.
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 Oh, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. We are small, but we are mighty. Charlene and I talked about we were probably going to have very light attendance today, but you folks are wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay if you can, and if you can't, please know that we send you off with our love and our blessings. Woo-hoo! Woo!